Welcome to Beyond the Arc with Coach Gebbia, presented by GEICO. This week, we'll take a look at the first games of the season as the Eagles are set to play Lehigh. All of that coming up after this.
Our new house is amazing. Great street, huge yard.
There is a bit of an issue with our neighbor's fencing. At least GEICO makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
Which helps us save even more.
Hey, Sarah. Hey, Peter.
Touche.
What? Tongue out.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Welcome into the show, Dan Laing alongside Coach Gebbia. And Coach, finally, it seems like you guys are going to be able to play some games. Of course, last weekend against Loyola, those games postponed. And now this weekend's games are both going to be played up at Lehigh beginning Saturday evening and then again on Monday afternoon. So how have you guys kind of dealt with the adjustments? I mean, I realize that's kind of what this year is, but how have you guys dealt with that?
I just try to keep telling the team, be as resilient as possible. Obviously, they were disappointed, last weekend, but it was weird when we practiced instead of played those days that we were supposed to be playing. They had a lot of energy, which is a good sign. But I just think you have to keep practicing. I mean, to me, as a coach, we were gifted 6 more practices, which I'm excited about. I don't think the team is, but I was. And now it's kind of like you can kind of focus in and get ready for your next opponent, because that's what basketball is all about, is like the turnaround. How quickly can you adjust? Because even going into last week's games, we hadn't seen Loyola play at all, before that. So now at least we got to see Lehigh play a couple games, which is helpful.
Yeah, Lehigh had a pretty good first weekend. They swept Lafayette. And you look at Mary Clockerty, and she's the first week Patriot League Player of the Week, of course. You guys immediately get to go up against her. 20 points in each of the first 2 games. What did you see from her when you took a look at those games?
I think I saw senior leadership, right? She came off the bench. She comes off the bench for them, believe it or not. And she just came in firing. And that's what she does. I think that's her role for them. But there was just zero hesitation. And I have to give Sue and her staff a lot of credit. They graduated, I think, 5 or 6 kids that played a ton of minutes for them last year. And you never know what the team coming in is going to be like after people graduate. And it just seemed like they didn't lose anything, right? They just kind of filled those roles that they had to replace for those that graduated, and they were able to score. And you don't usually typically see that. So going into this weekend is not real great for us as you look at it defensively, because you're worried like, oh no, can we get some stops when we need to? But yeah, it's just with her being able to shoot the ball, she just changes what they do, because you always have to be, everyone has to know where that kid is at all times on the floor, right? And we kind of preached that this week, that like you need to know where she is, because we can't sag too much off her. She's going to make shots.
Franny Hottinger was another one that had a pretty good first weekend, had a double-double in one of those games in points and rebounds. When you glanced at what she brings, what did you notice?
Well, I just think, this is her second year. She's been there for a year. She got to play under a lot of leadership last year. And it's really, I would say, her time to kind of rise to the occasion. I know the Lehigh staff really believes in her as a key cog to what they're doing and what their future looks like for that program. And I just think she can play multiple positions. She can play the 2 through the 4. She rebounds really well as a guard, but she can also shoot the ball from the perimeter and stuff. So she's going to be a tough guard for us just in general, because she's multifaceted.
Now, you've talked about their leadership a lot. How about the leadership that you guys have? You have 3 captains on this year's team. You have Emily Fisher, India Sanders, Taylor Brown, 3 captains. Sort of take us through how they got to that point, and what makes them good leaders, and what you've kind of noticed from them here in these few weeks.
Yeah, I think the 3 of them are exceptional leaders in the sense of what they bring and how well they mesh together. Like all of them have strengths and weaknesses, and they kind of cover each other's strengths and weaknesses up, which is kind of nice. But just the experience that they have on the court, I think, is a huge factor in leadership, and being able to or just speak vocally about what it's like to be in games, what it's like to go through a long season, and express that to the younger players. And I think that's a huge piece to the puzzle. And then just the energy and effort that they bring every day in practice, and them being in the system and understanding the system is just so helpful for me. And they communicate with their teammates well and with the coaching staff. So I'm super comfortable with them this year.
And of course, this year, there won't be any fans at any of the games in the Patriot League at Bender Arena or any of the other facilities and arenas throughout the league. And because of that, they're going to have a virtual Phil Bender campaign, a campaign that's actually been going on since December and has had a pretty good reception so far. It's put forth some pretty good numbers. And for you, Meg, it's another way for fans to feel a part of the program, even though it's from a bit of a distance.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, obviously, but that's the situation that we're in right now. And we just want to thank the fans and the Eagles Club and all the people that have given their time and energy and support for us and for the men's team, just because we need that support at this point in time. And yeah, I mean, we're happy about it, and we just want to get out there and play games and have them, watch some type of good product, we hope, this year, as we've been practicing for as long as we have. And just wanted to say thank you to everybody, and we're looking forward to seeing you online.
The keys to this weekend's games against Lehigh, keys to the games presented by GEICO. What are your keys?
Well, I've talked a lot this week about getting back in transition defense because Lehigh can push the ball and score quickly. So we talked a lot about that. Rebounding has always been an issue for us. So I think that's something that we have to focus on, and we have focused on every day in practice. And they're just really limiting their three-point attempts. I think they average like 36 three-point attempts per game. I know it's only been 2 games, but that's a lot. That's an awful lot.
Well, that'll do it for this week's edition of Beyond the Arc with Coach Gebbia, presented by GEICO. And be sure and tune in to ESPN Plus for this weekend's games against Lehigh, Saturday at 6:30 in the evening, and then Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. For Coach, I'm Dan. We'll see you next time.